Okay, this is like take, I don't know, 7 or 8. I'm just not on my A game today. Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. If you haven't checked out the previous one I did, I mentioned that I was going to start a Willem Dafoe chocolate sculpture series. And so for that video, I did his character from The Northman. If you like that movie, if you like dead, decapitated, mummified things that might or might not be edible, definitely go check that video out. I will say I was pretty proud of how he turned out. It was the very first chocolate sculpture I did for 2024, and we are starting with a bang. So for this one, I wanted to also do a not too recent movie, but I decided to do his character from The Lighthouse. He plays the lighthouse keeper, Thomas Wake, and hopefully you've seen it. It's a beautiful movie. It's a slow burn if you like those. If you don't, that's a shame. But I thought it was great, and I really liked his character in it. Again, I'm doing it from a very specific scene, and it's not a very long one actually. I only had like one screenshot to work off of as a reference. But basically it's when Ephraim, or Robert Pattinson's character, hallucinates and sees Willem Dafoe's character, Thomas Wake, as Proteus, aka a sea god, son of Poseidon. That's a mouthful, sorry. But yeah, he has like some like sea related formations on his face. He just, like his eyes just look super nuts. And so when I saw that scene, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to sculpt him. This was around like right when the movie came out, and I don't remember what year that was. But that was a while back, and that was when I was first starting into doing these sculptures, and I was mainly doing kind of like monster, creature, anime things, definitely nothing human, which is why I kind of delayed doing these projects for a while. I was just nervous and I didn't think I could pull it off. But then I recently saw Poor Things in the theaters, and I thought it was great. And I was just like, this is the time. I have to pull the trigger. I have to do a whole set of Willem Dafoe chocolate sculptures. So here we are. We are deep into it. We are at part 2. Spoilers, we'll do 3 parts total. Enough chit chat, let's get started. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe as usual. Okay, starting with the sketch as always, I have my paper here. This is the reference photo I'll be using. It's going to be the main reference photo, I think. It's like the clearest, most obvious look that he has. Kind of zoomed in, so it's like cut off a little bit. But I'm first going to do like a face forward, looking straight at him view. So pretty much this picture I'll be sketching out, as well as doing a side view to kind of determine like how much I want to sculpt out. Okay, and here is the final sketch. I really need to invest in better pencils. The pencil I have has like really super light graphite, so it doesn't really pop up on the camera well. If you've seen my other videos, you've already recognized this. Pretty happy with the sketch. I'm just gonna quickly draft what I want the side profile to look like, just so I have that better idea. Okay, I didn't spend too much time on this. It looks absolutely insane and pretty terrible, but I think I want his head, like the back of his head, to kind of touch this bottom part right here. So not to sculpt out like any neck or anything that would be down here. So just cut it off, because I feel like if I make some of his neck the bottom of it, the weight of the chocolate sculpture will fall. And welcome to my presentation, apparently. But yeah, I think this would be ideal. And then his beard can kind of like overflow onto the cake board so that it looks more floofy and it has like a very bushy effect rather than cutting that part off. I kind of want to continue that. But yeah, pretty happy with that. All right, let's get to making the materials. Okay, I was not thinking about this at all, but then I quickly debated with myself for about 2 minutes, but I realized I didn't think about what color I wanted to make him. Did I want to do human skin and try to match his hair or try to make up what I think his hair color would be. But then I realized The Lighthouse is a beautiful black and white movie. That's what really gives it character, besides like the stunning cinematography and all the symbolic images. Like, it's just a beautiful black and white movie. So let's keep him black and white, which of course makes me super nervous because I've never done anything like that before. I've done creatures that have majority black or creatures that are majority white, but not necessarily a character from a black and white movie or TV show. So I think this might be pretty interesting. I already have some, excuse the Christmas spell. I already have some black and white modeling chocolate I had made previously. I don't know if it'll be enough, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make more. I have a bunch of bags of these, and the two colors that I probably use the most in terms of all projects are black and white. So I'm sorry if I'm saying that a million times, but it's okay if I make extra because I'll definitely use it up later. If you haven't seen me make modeling chocolate, I do it in all my videos, but I do explain it a little more in detail in my previous video. And that's my first Willem Dafoe project I did, his character in The Northman. But I kind of go through it, super easy. But if you're curious about that, definitely go ahead and check that video out. And plus, it's just a really cool video in my opinion, even though it's not very popular. Sad face. But okay, let's make these. Okay, all my materials are made. I have like different shades of gray, or like from white to black, and then all the shades in between. I have a lot of this light gray because I feel like that's the majority, like that's the color I'm going to use the most. And then of course I have this super goofy looking Rice Krispie treat mold or base. So we're gonna go ahead and cover it with that initial layer of the light gray. Make it look like 2% less crazy than it does now. Move this out of the way. Real quick, I'm covering the Rice Krispie treat right now, and I totally forgot, like I thought about this during my last project, that my tools are actually really terrible. Like this one is crooked. Like you can see it's supposed to go straight, but I bent it at some point, and I'm like too afraid to like, I can get, you know, what do you call them? Pliers. I was gonna say tweezers, but that didn't sound right. I could get pliers and straighten them out, but they're also like coming out of their sockets. And so I think I'm just gonna throw in the towel, not on the project, but on these tools, and make sure to order a new set to come ASAP. It's kind of like cooking with knives that aren't sharpened. It's just, it's possible, but it's probably dangerous. So that's my tip of the day. Don't use crappy tools. Okay, he is now fully covered, and maybe he looks worse than before. I don't even know what he reminds me of. Like maybe like a badly made weed pipe during ceramics. I mean, if you're my age, you would have probably tried to do this. But I think first step I'm gonna do is just kind of map out where I think his features should go. Okay, here's what I have so far. So definitely more human looking, right? Slightly looks like Willem Dafoe, I think. So I think I'm just gonna combine all these, make his hair, and then work on his face some more. He's obviously very rough right now, but I wanna get his hair down first. I feel like that would just make me feel a lot better about progressing from this step before I add any details and realize, oh, his hair goes there. I shouldn't be sculpting there. So hopefully that makes sense, but let me go ahead and mix these up. Okay, and this is the end of day 3 or 2.5-ish, really. So he is coming together. He's looking less Abraham Lincoln-y, thank God. But yeah, a lot of work to still do on all the little details that make him Willem Dafoe. was just working on smoothing out his face, but I think before I add any wrinkles, I want to put his eyes and his mouth in. I feel like I need him to come to life a little bit before I add in all the like tiny little details. I think this is just to make me feel better about my sculpture at the moment. Result of another day's work, or it's more like 2 hours. Definitely not a full day. But his teeth are in, his eyeballs are in, his eyelids are kind of done. Big parts that are left are all the hair details and of course the shading. I may want to tweak his face some more. That's kind of a never-ending process, but he definitely needs like all of his wrinkles as well. So still a lot to do, but seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, today is the next day. Hopefully we get to finish today. I'm not exactly sure. I am getting started a little bit earlier in the day because I woke up early. And so we'll see if I can get it done. But I want to work on giving his hair some texture. I'm itching to do it. Like when I look at it, I don't like to see that it's not textured. So I just want to kind of get that out of the way. Okay, he now has eyebrows. I think I'm going to add his pupils next. That will definitely bring him to life. I am saving the coral tiara crown bit. To be honest, I actually forgot about the little crown bit until I started finishing up his hair. So that's pretty much why I'm saving it, quote unquote, saving it for the end. But okay, eyeballs. Real quick, you can see this section's a little bit darker. Actually, you can see that it's kind of patchy over out, but I'm not too worried about it because his skin looks kind of dirty, and I'm also gonna go in and shade a bunch. But I realized I made his forehead just look a little bit too big. Like I didn't put enough hair down around his hairline. But yeah, a little tweaking here and there, totally normal, especially because I really want him to look like the actual character, I mean, the actual actor. coral is done. I also did a few barnacles on the side of his forehead. I can kind of see them in that clip, so I definitely wanted to add those to give him more of that sea god look. But he is now ready to be painted. Today is let me turn on the heater. Okay, today is painting day, also known as the final day, the big reveal. Whenever I paint, usually right after I can show what it is. It never takes too long to actually do any of the painting. It's not like I'm coloring a whole coloring book. I'm just doing some light shading to make him pop, especially because I start with modeling chocolate colors that are already as close to the color that I want. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get it all done today. And that's my javelina. Let me show you. This is my javelina. I went to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo last weekend, and I will say I was kind of, sorry, that's my dog. She's looking for me. I'm right here. I'm right here. So yeah, I went to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo that recently happened in my town, and I have to say I was kind of expecting a little bit more. Like, I appreciate all the artists that were there, but I think I was expecting more taxidermy and medical equipment and things of that nature. It was a lot of art, which is fine, just not what I was expecting. But there was this really giant taxidermy booth. If you follow their Instagram account, you can see it was one of like their featured posts, and there was really decently priced taxidermy. So we decided to get the javelina. We had like a predetermined budget, and I'm so happy to have her, and I can't wait to put her up on my mantle, turning this house into a home pretty much. But I digress. Let's go back to Willem Dafoe and start painting him. Okay, back to Willem, and my javelina's back there. I'm sorry if that weirds anyone out that there's like a pig head on my kitchen island. She's just temporarily there until I can like get my mantle situation where my fireplace is sorted out. But I have this food coloring powder set that I used on my last project, and I was so happy with how it applied. And I will only be using black because obviously it's a black and white project and shading just needs to be black. As usual, I won't be showing a ton of the painting because I kind of want to have a bigger reveal. But I will show you bits and pieces, hoping that it comes out looking pretty cool. And here's the final reveal. Sorry if my hand is always like crazy shaky, but I just realized how similar the final outcome looks to the javelina that I had mentioned earlier. I don't know what it is. I just love how they're both screaming. Like I just love the screaming aesthetic.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know what this is about me, but I'm happy. And that was my Willem Dafoe chocolate sculpture based off of his character from the Lighthouse. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was definitely a little different doing black and white. I mean, that was my first black and white cake I've ever done, and it's probably not the last. I had a lot of fun, and it's just making me more motivated and more excited to get this series done. So make sure to stick around. Please like and subscribe. Please tell all your friends if you like this kind of weird kooky stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.